Alrighty, happy Friday. The end of another week, but the same verse, Psalm 119:1. How happy are those whose way is blameless, who walk according to the Lord's instruction. Alrighty, pursue what? I've already mentioned this. I've already talked about happiness, goals, targets, meals, hamburgers, Mexican. What are we pursuing? Are we just pursuing happiness? Or is it God's intent for us to pursue Him, with happiness being the reward? You see, we pursue a relationship with God. We make pursuit of God in our lives the priority. This is what I was mentioning at the end of yesterday's video. If we make it our priority pursuit, the intimacy that we have with God, then guess what? We get to enjoy the benefits of that relationship. You see, I trust God. Trust God with my life. I trust God with my health. I trust God with the events of my life. I trust God. I use this illustration all the time when I'm preaching. I trust God with the oxygen that's in the air. See, it's a matter of faith to take a breath and trust that God has placed oxygen in the air. See, you have that same trust as well. If you have the salvation, the redemption that is provided for us in the shed blood of Christ. See, if you know Jesus Christ, if you're a follower of Christ, call it Christian, call it whatever you want to call it in word form. If you've received the salvation that God provided in the death of Christ on the cross, then you have that same trust. You have that same hope in God. And so we pursue that relationship with God. The problem that I've seen in our faith is that most believers try to mix the world into their pursuits. You see, God gives us much to enjoy in the world. I mean, God didn't say, He says we're in the world, not of it. See, God gives us much in this world to enjoy. But those things are not our happiness. They're not our contentment. Matter of fact, the adversary, God's adversary, Satan, which makes him our adversary as followers of God. Satan wants to deceive us with pleasure as a pursuit. And so we pursue pleasure believing that it'll make us happy, that it'll satisfy us, that it will give us some kind of contentment. Watch out for the deception. You see, the greatest deception that has ever taken place, and it happened in the garden, is you can be happy being your own God. Remember that story of the snake? That's what Satan said to Adam and Eve. You will be like God. So we pursue that deception, that God likeness, trying to be happy, trying to be content. Beware of the deception. So I'm going to finish. I've been quoting all week the verse from Psalm 119, verse 1 from the Christian Standard Bible. I want to finish this week with this understanding. I'm not rewriting the Bible. Please don't hear that. But I want you to hear it. How happy, how joyfully content are the whole who walk according to the Lord's instruction. You see, God has spoken to us and given it to us in His Word. And we can be joyfully content in the wholeness, the completeness that God has provided for us in His Son, Jesus Christ. We simply must be surrendered, submitted, and obey the Lord's instruction. See you next week.